Hey, and welcome to The Explainer. We live our lives online, right? But have you ever really, truly stopped to think about what the internet is? Not the apps, not the websites, but the actual physical stuff that makes it all work. Well, today, we're diving deep. We're going on a journey into the physical backbone of the internet, from just an idea in your head to a pulse of pure light.
So think about this for a second. You tap a little heart on your screen here, and boom. Less than a second later, a server maybe halfway around the globe knows about it. Now that's not magic. It's an absolutely incredible feat of physics and engineering. So how in the world does that one tiny click, that little packet of information, make such an epic journey so ridiculously fast? Well, to find out, we've got to follow the data.
So here's our game plan. First, we're going to look at how an abstract idea, a bit, turns into actual physical energy. Then, we'll uncover the secret shape behind all information. After that, we'll run right into the cosmic speed limit. Yeah, there's a speed limit, and see how engineers get clever to share the data highway. And finally, we'll trace the incredible leap from old-school copper wires to the magic of fiber optics.
All right, let's start at the very beginning. Before your light can go anywhere, your phone or computer has to turn the digital idea of a 1 or a 0 into something real, something that can actually move through a cable. It has to become a physical signal.
And right away, we hit our first big hurdle. You see, the real world, sound, light, electricity, it's all analog. It's a smooth, continuous flow. But computers, they're digital. They only think in separate, distinct steps. It's either on or off, a 1 or a 0. So the entire internet hinges on our ability to translate these clean, simple digital commands into the messy, continuous language of physical energy.
Okay, so we have our 1s and 0s. But how do we actually shape energy to represent them? What does a 1 actually look like when it's traveling down a wire? This is where we get to uncover the secret recipe for information itself.
And I want you to meet the hero of our story, the sine wave. It is the purest, simplest signal you can possibly have. Just a smooth, predictable up and down wave. You can think of it like a single pure musical note. By itself, it's pretty simple, but it holds the key to creating almost infinite complexity.
And this is the mind-blowing part. Back in the 1800s, this mathematician, Jean-Baptiste Fourier, had this wild idea. He figured out that any repeating signal, no matter how complex or jagged or weird-looking, could be perfectly built just by adding together a bunch of these simple, pure sine waves. That's it. That's the secret recipe we need.
Okay, check this out. Let's see it in action. We start with our one basic sine wave. Now, we add another one on top of it, just a little faster. See how the shape is changing? Okay, add a third one, and another, and keep adding them. And whoa, look at that! Just by layering these smooth, simple waves, we've built a sharp, clean, square wave. That's the perfect physical shape for a digital on-off signal. It's how we turn bits into something real.
So we can make the signal. Awesome. But sending it across town, let alone across an ocean, is a whole other story. Because, the universe has rules, and there are hard physical limits on how fast and how clearly we can send our data. The first limit we hit is called bandwidth. Remember all those different sine waves we were adding together? Well, any real-world cable can only carry a certain range of those frequencies. That range is its bandwidth. The best way to think about it is like a highway. A wider highway or a bigger bandwidth lets you handle more complex signals, which means you can send more data all at once. Now, traveling down this highway, our poor little signal has to face two big villains. The first is attenuation. This is just the signal naturally getting weaker as it travels, like how a shout fades the farther away you get. And the second villain is noise. This is just random, stray energy from the universe that gets mixed in and messes up our signal, making it really hard to read on the other end. So, given a certain highway width, that's our bandwidth, and a certain amount of background noise, is there a top speed? You bet there is. Back in 1948, the absolute genius Claude Shannon gave us this exact formula. Now, don't worry about the math. Let's just get the big idea. It says your max speed, c, is set by two things. Your bandwidth, b, how wide is that highway, and the signal-to-noise ratio, s/n. Basically, how loud is your message compared to all the background chatter.
This is it, the ultimate, unbreakable speed limit for data. Okay, so we've hit a cosmic speed limit for any one channel, but we need to send millions of likes and video calls and cat videos down the same physical cable at the same time. We can't give everyone their own private internet, so we have to get really, really clever about sharing that highway.
And we basically do this in two main ways. It's called multiplexing. First, there's time division multiplexing, or TDM. With this one, everybody gets to use the entire highway, but you have to take turns, really, really fast. It's like a super fast timeshare. The other way is frequency division multiplexing, or FDM. Here, we split the highway up into a bunch of smaller parallel lanes, and everybody gets their own dedicated lane to use all at the same time.
But how can we squeeze the most information possible into our little slice of the highway? We use another trick called modulation. Think of our signal as an envelope and our data as the letter inside. We can encode information by changing the envelope. We can change its height or amplitude. We could change its speed, its frequency. We can even shift its starting point, its phase. But the real magic happens when we combine them. The most advanced systems use something called QAM, which changes both the amplitude and the phase at the same time. It's how we pack an insane amount of data into every single pulse.
So, we've built the signal, we understand its limits, and we figured out how to share the cable. Now for the last piece of the puzzle. What is that cable, that channel, actually made of? Let's look at the physical wires that make up our planet's nervous system.
For a really long time, the internet pretty much ran on copper wires. And they work, but their bandwidth is limited, they're super vulnerable to interference from other electronics, and the signal dies out pretty fast. But the modern champion, the undisputed king, is fiber optics. Instead of electricity, it sends pulses of light. It's basically immune to interference, the signal can travel for miles and miles, and its potential bandwidth is it's astronomical.
So how does fiber even work? It's all because of this beautiful, elegant principle from physics called total internal reflection. So you shoot a pulse of light into a tiny core of super pure glass. That core is wrapped in a different kind of glass called cladding. And when the light hits the wall between the core and the cladding, it doesn't leak out. It reflects perfectly, like it's bouncing off a mirror. And it just keeps bouncing, zigzagging its way down the cable for kilometers with almost zero signal loss. It is literally a tunnel made of mirrors, just for light.
So what's the big payoff for all this fancy light bouncing? This number. The potential bandwidth of a single strand of optical fiber is over 30 terahertz. That's 30 times trillion cycles per second. The amount of information it can carry is it's mind-boggling. And it's exactly why one single cable lying on the ocean floor can carry millions of phone calls and video streams all at the same time.
And there you have it. That's the whole journey. Your simple like starts as an abstract 1 or 0. It gets encoded into a physical wave built by adding up a ton of simple sine waves. That signal gets sliced up and packed in with millions of others, then converted into a pulse of light that literally bounces its way through a thread of glass almost at the speed of light. That is the incredible, hidden journey of a single click.
We have tamed electricity. We have mastered light. We have pushed our ability to communicate right up against the fundamental laws of physics. So, what's next? What new material, what new physical principle is going to power the next generation of global connection? That's the question we're left with. Thanks for watching The Explainer.